Ahmad, man, nice to meet you. How you doing? Nice to meet you, man. So,
I'm 19 today.
Really?
That's all.
Where is it?
Man.
What's up with
How you doing, my man?
I'm good.
How you doing?
Y'all just alike, man. How you doing, man?
Good, man.
Good to see you.
birthday boy right here.
What's up? Happy birthday, man.
Dr. Savage, your baby, documentary baby.
All right.
So this was the game linking up with Dr. Dre, and that's significant given everything he's said about Dre over the past few years. One of the most memorable lines being that Kanye did more for him in 2 weeks than Dr. Dre did throughout his entire career. Needless to say, thousands of rap fans aren't exactly convinced that whatever tension existed between them has genuinely been resolved. That reunion felt about as authentic as it looked. Now, moving into today's coverage, there's quite a bit to unpack, starting with what many are describing as Jay-Z taking a subtle shot at Drake, and this coming just days before Iceman drops. The fallout from this has been pretty significant, and it ties directly into the New York Times list of the 30 greatest living American songwriters, a list that, from the hip-hop world, only included Jay-Z and Young Thug. Starting with Jay-Z, the data speaks for itself. By nearly every measurable standard, he's one of the greatest rappers to ever do it. Consistently placed in top 5 conversations, a global catalog equivalent to over 105 million albums sold worldwide, and widely regarded as one of music's most influential figures. With upcoming shows at Yankee Stadium marking 30 years of Reasonable Doubt, Jay has been making the media rounds ahead of those dates, and his latest interview has sparked just as much debate as the last one. The controversy largely stems from that New York Times list, which has become the perfect rage bait for hip-hop fans, based on both who made the cut and who didn't. Putting Young Thug and Bad Bunny on the list, while leaving off Eminem, Nas, and Drake, that alone set the internet on fire. And knowing the long history between Jay-Z and Nas only added another layer to the frustration. As one fan put it, the greatest lyrical poet and the greatest hitmaker both absent from the same list makes the whole thing difficult to take seriously. It felt less like a credible ranking and more like something put together by industry insiders with very specific allegiances. Now, Eminem's absence, while frustrating to many fans, isn't all that surprising when you look at the pattern. Critics have had a complicated relationship with Eminem for well over 25 years, largely due to his controversial content and his well-documented refusal to play the industry game. When you factor in that the list was compiled by over 250 industry insiders and 6 New York Times critics, and consider the likelihood that placement may have come with strings attached in the form of interview access, it starts to make a lot more sense why Eminem didn't appear. Fans, however, weren't letting it go, pointing out that top 5 all-time rappers were left off a list that included Babyface and Missy Elliott, and for the record, none of them wrote Stan. We already have a pretty clear picture of how Eminem feels about lists like this, but it was Jay-Z's interview with the New York Times, published alongside this list, that really turned up the heat, and we'll get into that now, starting with what Jay had to say about his songwriting process.
Flow state. It's like, I can't explain it. I'll happen upon a word, and I'm like, man, I don't even know how I knew that word, especially earlier. Or some type of vibe will come through, and I'll say, why does that work so perfect? And I'm sure other writers gonna relate to this. Most times I come up with the flow first. I'm trying to work out the pockets, and then I'll fill it with words. We knew Rakim, come from a jazz background. We understood so he's mimicking a horn. But Biggie was so unorthodox that it was like, Jesus.
The notorious just please us with your lips.
Visa, that's just jazz, black and ugly as ever. And then the word, one word was so powerful. However, black and ugly as ever. However, anything he said after that was going to be amazing. Those are little tricks as a writer that, everyone's trying to accomplish to make a word mean more. It's triple entendre, quadruple entendre. That's when I feel like I'm at my best. I'm always writing. It never goes off. Teenage years, my mom had got me this notebook, and I was just writing, and it would be sideways and slanted and just like a mess. And I was writing really small because I didn't want anybody to read what I was writing. And as I moved further away from the house, it was hard to hold these things. I had to retain these thoughts. I didn't write anymore. And I would lose so much great material. All the material that's on Reasonable Doubt was pretty much already in my head. You can pin yourself in the corner and say, I'm gonna write a song about alcohol. A lyrical exercise is a better example. So now I'm just going to take all these references, you know, about bars and sit-ups and chin-ups and things, and I'm going to make it make sense, and it can't be corny. When you take one of your arms and you tie it behind your back, that's a challenge. But it's a challenge as a writer that you relish and you want. A big yacht, the Lexus, bragging about money. Those are props. That's not the engine. That's not the emotion that my music is running on. The foundation of the struggle, our fight to be recognized in a country that doesn't see us in that light. When you walk in the room, you ain't walking in just a solo. You represent the history of what's been done in this country. And it don't have to be all loud. It's like every second of the day, but it's there. It's like air. No, but I like that metaphor. It's like air was really good. Yeah, I like that. I'm gonna put that one in my pocket for later.
He also touched on the writing process behind Dr. Dre's Still DRE, a record that at this point has outstreamed every single Jay-Z solo track and rap collaboration combined.
You know, this is Dr. Dre coming off, you know, leaving Death Row. I know where he was trying to go because I've been there a couple of times with like Kingdom Come and those things. So he's trying to make, you know, he's like, I'm leaving this place and I want to mature. So for me, it was just natural to like get into his psyche. Like what would he be thinking right there? What would I be thinking? I would be thinking, I have to remind people that I'm Dr. Dre. That's where Still Dre comes. Still. It's like a challenge for you as a creator. For me, that's where I really thrive. Like when I'm challenged to like do a thing, to make a word mean more. Triple entendre, quadruple entendre. That's when I feel like I'm at my best. I tell people all the time, never fight against the future. The future's coming. Artists, they were trying to recreate something that was already done, but they're not connected to it like that. They're not living it and breathing it. They were fighting against gravity as opposed to telling their story. We needed that other side. We needed to hear about what happens when you've had 4 successful albums. What happens? What is that feeling like? How do you make the next one? How did you get in the studio? How are your kids? How do you interact with them as this hip hop dad? But if you're trying to make young music and you're not young, it's gonna be inauthentic.
And with this surfacing just days before the release of Iceman, and given the well-known criticism Drake has faced from hip-hop figures like Joe Budden about needing to mature as a rapper, the internet immediately read this as Jay taking a veiled shot at Drake, and fans did not hold back. Some pointed out that Jay himself was making club records in Paris at 42 years old, so the argument felt a little thin. Others felt it was less about artistic integrity and more about Drake's ability to evolve with the times, something Jay was being accused of struggling to do himself. The timing of using that particular clip just weeks before Iceman dropped led many to believe the target wasn't just Nicki Minaj, that there was a broader agenda at play directed at Drake as well. And then it got personal. One comment that made the rounds suggested that Jay-Z apparently has no issue with certain personal choices off the mic, but suddenly has strong opinions about making music that appeals to a younger crowd. The Nicki Minaj fan base was clearly active in the comments, with several posts going after Jay directly, questioning why someone they nicknamed Camel Z was seemingly bothered by the fact that other veterans can still connect with younger audiences in a way he no longer can. The broader narrative forming online is that Jay-Z may have looked at his own numbers and didn't like what he saw. While artists like Eminem, Kendrick Lamar, and Drake have maintained or grown their connection with millennial and Gen Z listeners, Jay has been reportedly struggling in that space. And this isn't just speculation. Luminate's data confirmed that Eminem ranked as the #1 rapper among the general audience and the Gen Z demographic across all 4 quarters of 2024, something we covered in detail when those reports dropped.
You see, I'm gonna say the elephant in the room, man. This is hating ass Jay-Z once again. He talking to Drake, man. You know Drake turning 40 this year. He trying to like, yo, he one of them type of gonna give you the bad advice that hopefully you follow. And then when you get unsuccessful, he be like, well, at least you tried. You know, at least, you know them people be like, well, at least you did it the right way. Man, if you don't get the fuck out of here, Jay-Z. Jay-Z had a whole career. That said 30's a new 20 when he became 30. Then said, I'm young forever. And now that he's 70, he's trying to tell others, nah, y'all gotta make music like y'all old now, man. Nah, don't do what I was doing, saying 30 the new 20, young forever. Y'all gotta leave the youth alone. Man, get this thing on, get the fuck out of here. I keep telling y'all, man, Jay-Z the type of, bruh, when he ready to, Jay-Z likes to put a bow on a lot of bullshit. The guy's 70, half his life. Jay-Z was like 50 when he was like, yo, I'm young forever. What you mean young forever? Let's go back and check out the math. Jay-Z, forever young, that's who we be, forever young. 2009, Jay-Z made that shit, that he young forever, okay? It was a song on the album released in 2010. How old is Jay-Z now? Jay-Z is 56 in 2026. That means in 2010, which is 16 years ago. 16 years ago, this nigga's 40, talking about he forever young. 40! I'm forever young. That's who be forever. Hating ass. Hating. You know why? The other, hip-hop's top guys now, they're about to be 40. You know what he's trying to tell them? Nah, man. We used to tell him that. You grandpa Hove now. He ain't want to hear it. Forever young. That's what he's saying. 30's the new 20. He was on that R. Kelly shit. That's what Kelly was telling them hoes. Kelly was telling them 16 the new 26. Like, I don't know what Kelly was telling them. Real talk. But he was trying to switch up the age. What you mean 30 the new 20, gang? What you mean by that, gang? 30 new 20? How'd that work? Jay-Z switched up all the rules for him. Now that he's 75, he's trying to tell y'all act your age. Man, this is crazy, man. I keep telling you about Hove, man. Hove a cold piece of work. Hove cold. When Hove is 40, forever young. Hove is 70. Y'all need to act your age and leave the youth alone. Jay-Z at 35, 30 is the new 20. Jay looking at you at 35. It's time for you to pack it up, man. It's time to retire. Man, Jay, I love how Jay hates. I love how he hates. Yo, Jay, you was like 45 trying to make songs with Drake back in 2013, trying to keep up with the wave. Even when you were making songs with Ye, he was an old man. You were Grandpa Hove. Like, if you were allowed to do all this grandpa raps, I feel like he's slick hating on the new. Yeah, Dot like fit 40, Cole 40, Drake finna be 40. It's like he telling them like, nah, come over here to the grandpa status. No, Jay-Z only accepted the grandpa status once he hit like 55. Now he telling, y'all gotta start acting y'all age. That had a song Forever Young. Y'all never heard this? Jay-Z was 40 years old when he dropped this song, bro. I just want to put this in fucking perspective. He was talking about forever young, you want to live forever? Yo, any new artist, man, Jay just hating on y'all. Jay like Michael Jordan. You know Michael can't suit up no more, so Michael just be throwing hate out to like the new who about to beat his record and like be considered the greatest. Like, just he always got that shade. If you great, don't listen to Jay-Z, because Jay-Z don't want none of y'all to pass his like legacy overall. Telling y'all like y'all need to slow down, like, man, like rap age appropriately, man. That back Beyonce like 30. She was like 17. Like, we don't know. You can't listen to Jay, man. Shut up, Jay. Shut up. We'll see you at Yankee Stadium. Shut your bitch ass up, man. Yo, Jay just talking a whole bag of. Yo, Jay, you always been 10 years older than all your peers. How you gonna tell to like make age appropriate music and like grow with you? Yo, shut up.
Now, Forever Young probably wasn't the strongest example to lean on here, but the Hypocrite label is one that's hard to shake off in this case, because when you look at what Jay-Z was actually rapping about through most of his 40s, and then consider that his most streamed rap collaboration of all time is literally Niggas in Paris, a record that's about as far from mature, introspective lyricism as it gets, the argument starts to fall apart on its own. And if the goal was to cast a shadow over Drake's Iceman rollout, what Jay may have actually done is hand Drake's critics a ready-made talking point to deploy the moment the project drops. That's exactly why Drake's fan base is reacting the way they are right now. They see what's happening. The commentary kept coming. One fan noted that Glorilla had to perform at the Eminem 8 Mile shelter, suggesting nobody was really checking for her in that context. Others pointed out that Jay essentially wants his peers to compete strictly on his terms because he's no longer able to hold ground with younger audiences. Telling Drake to stop being himself, as one fan put it, simply isn't going to work. And it wasn't just Jay. Joe Budden took it a step further by policing Drake about his personal life, suggesting he should stop having relationships with women in their mid-20s. So, between Jay's timed comments and Budden piling on, the seed has very much been planted ahead of Iceman's release.